Shakespeare coming to you live. How's everyone doing today? Price is bumping around here on pound yen and cable. Was able to take a couple little scalps this morning for 5 pips and 10 pips each. Now 74, we've got almost 20 pips back to the one. We've got a previous high right around that area, so probably not a bad spot to give it a shot on pound yen. And here we are already kind of close to that area. Look at this. 72 almost. Alright, let me jump one in. I'm going to get one quick in here. So 71. Ideally, let me go ahead and get it down to a gap. We got a previous high here, so I kind of like it. But if we get over 75, I'm going to get out. I'm not going to hang on to this for any length of time. You know, I see the equity markets moving up. The Dow has kind of been making higher highs and higher lows on a 5-minute chart. Entered position 0.35 lots. It's based on the power of 20. 20 pips will equal 2%. So if we make 20 pips on this, it's up 2 now. Don't mistake that for 20. That's 2.2. So we're up a little over 2 pips. If we get to 20, that'll be about 2% of the account. But I'm not looking for 20 on this trade. If we get down around to around 60, which would be about 10-12 pips, I think that's good. So far, so good. We're at the 1-minute box. I don't know how much more I'm going to get out of this. So maybe we'll just take a quick 5 to start the sesh. Here, let's see. There's 6 for a moment. I mean, if we can get under, we don't have a lot going on, but I don't want to be greedy. So, all right, I'll take 6 on that. Let's start the morning off with a nice little nibble. Okay. Sometimes it's better just to get a winning trade under your belt, kind of get you feeling good and get you going. Okay, so we start with 6 pips. Not bad, not bad. We'll take it. Okay, look at this pound yen grid. I mean, this is a long grid. You know, we do have this high here that we just bounced off again. So, you know, I don't want to do a 1-minute long right into a previous resistance, right? So, but if this pound yen grid that I really like, if the price were to get down, we could start looking at it at 57, or down you have your like supreme combo type entry down here. Okay, and then you got a little bit on cable. Very good, very good. I mean, the cable is in a very nice grid position right here. This is the textbook. I'm saying cable again. I mean pound yen. You know, you got your snake pattern. You got clear roads, but you're just at a 1-minute entry, and this level has caused a bounce down, pretty dramatic. The L7 was too strong, and then this level also caused another little bounce. But that L1 on the 5-minute, now if the 5-minute meets, I'll consider it. You know, if the price here gets to the 5-minute, I'll definitely consider it along on pound yen, and same with pound dollar. I mean, they're the only ones moving. Omar, good morning, sir. Welcome. I tried to reach out yesterday. I was going to jump on Mike yesterday and help you out, but you're here today. That's fantastic. Okay, actually I need a little sip of coffee. So, good. We can have a discussion about a question. A very common question for traders seeing the grids for the first time, or when you're new to the grids, maybe you've traded before, but when you look at the grids, I mean, you're like on an even keel with new traders because you're like, what am I looking at? And once you start seeing, get some exposure to it, then you start realizing what you're looking at. So, okay, all right, I get it. And that's fine. You just have to hit that point, the aha moment, and then you'll see what you're looking at. And then, of course, that aha moment is not the end-all be-all. That's the beginning. Okay, now you know what you're looking at, and now let's learn how to use these things. Okay. All right, good. Well, I'll do a quick little answer to the question. Oh, whoa, pound yen, what? So we've got our pattern, and I'll just tell you quickly, and then we'll get on more detail. Here's our pattern. We got the head of the snake leading. If you don't know what the head of the snake is, it's the 1-minute boxes. And then you got the price. Now, when the price reaches a certain point in the pattern, aka right now, we have the price at a 5-minute box. Now we can look at a 5-minute and make sure it's making higher highs. This one is a little trickier than some because we're bouncing off a high, right? So this is technically an entry right now. Let's see what the price is. 61. I do like it. All right, I'm long pound yen. 5-minute trend trade. This is a 5-minute trend trade. Why is it a 5-minute trend trade? Because this is a trend trade pattern, and we entered at the 5-minute box, the L1, the one right there, that green one. That's the 5-minute box. That's another 5-minute box. There's two of them, the 1 and the 2. But the L1 and the L2 are the boxes. They're the main lines that create the patterns on the grid, so they're important. Yes, okay, here we go. All right, so we're looking for this price to take these clear roads. A nice target would be the 77 on a 5-minute trend. Would be the next level up. Once we get it break above this slow car at 64, I call this a slow car because we're on a 4-lane highway, right? That's what you got to imagine. We're on a 4-lane highway. So where there's clear roads, it's a lot easier to drive down. Price moves a lot faster down clear roads than it can with roads with a lot of traffic and congestion on it. We're all familiar with that. One analogy I like to use when talking about looking for your entry points, and basically the question Fred and many traders have when coming in to see the grids and trade with the grids is, I see the grids, but I'm not sure like exactly where to enter and when it's time to enter. And that's a fair question. You're basically looking for two things. Okay, there's two things that you're looking for, right? The first thing, you're looking for a tradable pattern, one of our patterns. Okay, a pattern could be a trend trade pattern. It could be a reversal pattern. It could be an extended reversal. It could be a tripod. It could be a snapback trade. It could be an L1, L7 cross. So we have many trade setups. It could be, those all represent patterns on the grid. They're patterns. So, and you learn them. Okay, the trend trade you learn first. The trend trade's easy. That's what we're in. Right, it looks like the head of the snake is leading. So the 1-minute box is out front. In the long situation, it's up highest. Then the 5-minute boxes, and then the 15-minute box is like a stair-step pattern. And that makes up the body of the snake. The hour box is the tail. And so in this case, the head is up. It's moving up. The snake is traveling in the upward direction. That's your trend. Okay, so now you can enter at each level in the box. Each box level of the pattern is an entry point. All right, so the first thing, again, like I said, is you're looking for the pattern. This is a trend trade pattern. The second thing you're looking for is the price to reach a certain point in that pattern. The analogy I like to use is it's like a lion in the bush. All right, so you're a lion in the bush. That's you. You're waiting for your prey, and when you see the pattern, now you spotted your prey. Okay, that zephyr, that wounded zephyr off in the distance. Okay, but just because you see the zephyr does not mean you can jump right now. You have to wait, because if you jump too early, the zephyr can get away. Even if it's injured, if you jump too early, you can still get away. All right, so you have to wait and let that zephyr wander to the right spot, which just right outside that bush that you're waiting to pounce from. Okay, and when that zephyr wanders to that right spot, then it's easy pickings. And you didn't have to do anything but wait in the shade the whole time. Okay, so basically a lot of trading is waiting. So you see your pattern, and then you have to wait for the price to hit your spot. You can't be impatient. It almost will always hit the spot. You just have to wait. So keep that in mind. You're a lion in the bush at all times. All right, you spot the pattern, and then you wait for the price to reach the point in your pattern, and then you can enter. Now, pulling the trigger is a whole nother art form. You can do one click. You can do dynamic. If you do one click, you can use a stochastic as an entry point. We're doing okay. Our trade's up to about +4. Okay, we're almost out into clear roads here. Oh, there we go. +8.5. Let's go. Now we're in clear roads. If this thing, the thing is, we've been bouncing off this area up here, so we should probably just take something up in this area in order to prevent it from going negative on us again. But I would like to see, gosh, one more jump up there would be nice. I mean, the VTA will take us out automatically if it hits this level. We just had about 8.5. We're up about 7, but I like where we're at. We're in clear roads. I mean, we've got a lot of support under us, but not a lot of resistance above us. That's good. That's good. I mean, this can easily float up here now. We're where we need to be. All right, in clear roads, and we're already up 10 pips. You know, we're in clear roads, so it's hard to let go of this trade just yet. But we're all up at resistance, so I might just take the 11. Here's 11 pips. I mean, I think it could go higher, but we're up at the previous high, so I'm out at plus 11. All right, so that's out. I'm out. Let's look at the log. Nice. All right, so we got in at 61, and we got out at 72 and change. So out plus 11. All right, thanks, Fred. Okay. So plus, oh, look, there's my daily target reach for the day. That means we got our 20 pips at 2%. Let's go ahead and look at our experts tab. This, you gotta love this. This is what the whole point of it is. Once we hit our 2%, we have grown 2% on the day. You can see if we go to our where the day started, here it is. Okay, so we started the day with 32.50 as a balance. We now have the target was 33.19. Let's see where we're actually at. 33.48. We blew it away. We blew it away, folks. All right, so that's the goal, to do that every day, is see that daily growth target reach. You see that, you're feeling good. Not only are you feeling good, but you're achieving goals. Why did I get in? Okay. We had our pattern. We had the 5-minute trend. We had a trend trade pattern, and then the price reached our entry point, the 5-minute box in the pattern. I got in at this box right here, the 5-minute box. So it's always changing. It's dynamic. In this case, okay, so we got in at 61. It was a 5-minute trend trade. The only thing that would be harder to explain on this is how we exited, because we did exit out in no man's land, and we could have waited for possibly a hit of a roadblock for our target, which is what we usually want to do. In this case, I got out here because we were at previous highs. So I don't care what's on the grid. If you see prices, it looks like a ceiling is there. That's resistance. There's price there. Someone's got a fat order there. You know, maybe they don't care anything about Fibonacci. Who knows? I mean, and anyway, it's not. I mean, this is right up against levels. This thing is bouncing on levels. Okay, so, but the fact is we were right up against this previous high, so I was happy with the 11 pips. All right, now why did I get in the trade? Because of the pattern. Okay, so for example, it's still in that pattern. Let's go over to pound dollar. Okay, Fred, let's go over to here for a second. Only because the one's above the 2 on the 1 minute, whereas the pound yen, the one's below. It makes it maybe a little more confusing. So in this case, pound dollar, you've got another trend trade pattern, because the snake, head of the snake, the 1 minute box, okay, is leading, is out front. Okay, and then when I say out front, I mean out front of the other boxes, the other 1s and 2s. All right, so when I talk about our patterns, most always our patterns are made up of these boxes. I call them the boxes, the 1 and 2s, 1 and 2s, 1 and 2s, 1 and 2s. Those create these patterns that we're looking for. So this is the trend pattern. Looks like a staircase almost. The hour is getting a little jumbled up, but that just means it's a nice level to enter at down there. So you can enter when the price hits here at the 1 minute. That's the riskiest of all trades, because the 1 minute levels are the weakest. They're only 1 minute levels. You can enter there, or you can wait for the price to hit this box, which is what we did over here. When the price entered this box, we waited a second, made sure price wasn't just going to fall through it like a hot knife through butter. We waited. We saw the price was bouncing a little bit. So we entered a trade there. Okay, we entered it right here because that 5-minute green line, that's the 5-minute green box, L1. That's the same thing. This green line is the trail of this box. This is where it's at now at 61. It's right there at 61. But minutes ago it was here, and then minutes before that it was here, and then minutes before that it was here. So this is the trail, the history of that box. And you can see when the price met that box, that happened to be our entry, it bounced. We only took that entry because we knew as grid traders there was a high probability that we would get a bounce here. So we took, the probability was on our side. So we did it. We took the long. We didn't know that was going to happen with 100%, but we knew it was going to happen with, say, 80 to 90% probability. So we took a chance. And that's what trading is. All right, and it worked out beautifully this time. And it probably will work out beautifully like this 80% of the time. Don't let the 20% of the losers kill you by not getting out of a loser. Okay, that's just an added tip. That was a bonus tip. All right, so in this case, Fred, and in this case over here for pound dollar, we could say if price gets to 54, I'm going to enter long, and we're going to call it what? We're going to call it a 5-minute trend trade because it's a trend trade pattern that we entered at the 5-minute box. All right, we could wait for this level. That's a little trickier level. We could just, because the 15 and the hour are lined up, but it's a nice level, but it's just hard to give it a name. You could call it the hour level. It's a 4-column roadblock at the hour level. It's a nice entry. All right, so I hope that helps a little for now, but what I can say is, I see. All right, I can do it again, but let me take you through step by step. All right, do you see the pound yen grid on the projection? Pound yen, scroll to the right a little. You see my mouse? Let me ask you this, do you see my mouse? See my mouse moving? Okay, I'm at pound yen. What you're going to notice, Fred, and I'll back up a little and just show you some action and just explain a little bit of how the price moves on the grids, okay? And just to read it, I'm going to probably look at both of these, pound yen and pound dollar, because they're the grids that are moving and showing us something. These three over here, they're not even showing us anything. So yeah, those are covered up because honestly, I don't want anyone to get distracted. Those are horrible grids, all right? I'll cover the buttons up though, just in case. Make sure there's no mistakes. And that's what I was about ready to show you, Fred, is that the price action is they bounce, the price bounces from the boxes out into the band shades, and then it hits these targets. These lines are the targets. Then it pulls back to the boxes. The boxes, depending on how strong the pullback is, it'll either be a 1-minute box or a 5-minute box or a 15-minute box that is able to catch that price, that momentum, and turn it back around and throw it back into the band shades, out into the band shades. And how strong it can throw it out in the band shades determines how many levels it will break on the way out. All right, now it's a lot harder for that price to get shot out and break a 3-column roadblock. It's difficult. It's got to have a lot of momentum to do that. So often if the price is coming from like a 15-minute box, it might, and it's come a long way, it might bounce, and it might have to get some momentum from the 1 or the 5 to get it close enough to get a bounce through that level. So you're going to see that your entries, at least for your trend trades, your entries are at your boxes and your targets are at these band shades out into in the grids, into the blue zones. And I call them blue now, but you can make them any color you want. All right, and you can see this action happening all throughout the grids. It's one major aspect. You can almost look at any chart, for example, and see how well these levels will behave and act as targets. And these band shades can also trap the price in and channel the price. And the thing is these levels act as support and resistance all over the place. So the idea then is that the price bounces between the levels along the clear roads. So if you can get clear roads, then the idea is to enter a trade at one edge of the clear roads and have it float to the other edge of the clear roads and exit the trade. Okay, so these and the patterns help you find these situations. All right, so back to explaining why I took the trade I took. Okay, we had a 5-minute trade and trend trade. Now let me zoom out on this. Maybe we can see more if I zoom out on the grids. Maybe let's go to price in center 3. Just give us a little more view. Okay, so now the patterns are made up with the boxes together. Okay, the 1 and the 2, the 1 and the 2, the 1 and the 2. And even the hour has 1s and 2s. If you ignore everything else on the grid and just look at the boxes, you'll see a nice little stair step pattern. You can just kind of do and just jump down. So that's what you want. The head of the snake is the 1-minute boxes. The tail of the snake is the hour boxes. This snake is traveling up. The trend is up in that case. Okay. So you see the pattern. Okay. Remember, as I was saying, you're the lion in the bush. You've seen the pattern. You've now seen your prey. You've seen the wounded zephyr. Now you're just waiting for the price to float to the right location in your pattern. Okay. In this case, you can enter here. If you really think the 1 minute is going to do it, you can enter there. You can enter here at the 5-minute. That makes it a 5-minute trend trade. You can enter at the 15 or the hour. Those are our 15 or hour trend trades. Okay, we don't really have an hour trend trade to say. I mean, there is such a thing, but you kind of need the higher time frame still to justify that. Now, how do you know which is the right one? Well, you can start investigating. I mean, just at a glance, being a new trader, you can just be okay with what I just said and enter either at the 1, 5, 15 and understand the 1 is the weakest, the 5 is a little stronger, a little higher probability of a bounce here, and the 15 is even stronger, even more of a probability and a bigger bounce from the 15. But the risk is the Zephyr may never wander that close to you and you may never get a trade. So you have to have a trade-off of how much risk you want to take to having enough trading to fit your lifestyle. Do you want to just take one trade every other day because you're not getting the entry you want? Or do you want to be able to take maybe 2 or 3 trades, good solid trades a day? Or do you want to take many trades for a couple pips each time? Whatever you do is going to be that's going to tailor your style of trading. The grids suit many styles of trading. All right, so once you get more advanced, though, you can start seeing which is a higher level, a higher probability of an entry point by looking at each chart for each box. So, for example, at a 1-minute box, I would look at a 1-minute chart. Okay, and what the key is you're looking for each chart. You're looking for, is that time frame chart making higher highs and higher lows? Is this one in fact making higher highs and higher lows on a 1-minute? I would say it's not doing bad. Okay, it has some rough points. It's kind of more of it's like a bigger channel that's not really obeying the 1 as much. You can see in this case the 1 might try a little, or the 2 actually, but it fails and the white zone holds it up. So it's a little sloppy. I wouldn't use the 1 minute on this one. It's the green line, remember, and it's just not as strong as I'd like to be. Very often the 1 minute is strong enough, but this chart is not showing it as much. So I would pass on a 1-minute time frame entry, and I do often, and you should often. It has to be just perfect for you to be able to enter. Okay, so if we look at the 5-minute chart as our next potential entry point, we look at that and we say, okay, in this case, right here it was, if we looked at it here at this point, it was following a fresh high. That was a good entry. Boom, and it was pretty good. Here's where we entered our trade here. It was not exactly the most beautiful idea because we hadn't breached the previous high. Okay, but there was some action here that was breached. It did look like we were getting some up movement, so we took our entry right here at the 5, and we got a good enough bounce to get some pips, but we still didn't make a higher high. So I think we did good in this situation getting out when we did. The pound dollar actually looks better. I would say the pound dollar 5-minute has definitely made a fresh high, and I would say that the 5-minute line is definitely valid the next time we get there. And for cable, if I was the lion in the bush, I would say at the 5-minute box, I will take an entry because that chart is looking much better. All right, so I mean, I think that was just a quick rundown of just like the trend trade. Okay, so you see the pattern, right? You see each of those boxes are entry points. You can actually look at the charts and see which of those time frame charts are making higher highs to see which of those entry points are actually the best ones. That's not going to make you a grid master, but it should give you some foundation to start looking at the grids and start identifying. Now you just can learn different patterns, but I say you don't even bother with new patterns yet. Look at the trend trade. That's honestly the foundational trade to all other trades, because everything else, it's all a cycle of trading. Like, they start as trend trades, then they turn into reversals, then they turn into tripods, right? So they turn into, then they turn into bounce trades, and then they turn back into trends again. All right, so it's a cycle of how it works, and they start with the trend. Now, the snapback is an easy one to also add to the trend, because a snapback is what happens when a trend works well out into the blue band shades and you hit up against your target. When you're at your target and you exit, say, a long trend, how do you get out of a long trend? You basically sell. So if you're in a position, you can sell to get out. If you're not in a position, you can sell to get in, and that's going short on a snapback trade. So a proper exit of a trend trade could be a proper entry for a snapback trade. In fact, I was thinking on adding a button that does that can exit a long trade and immediately enter a short trade, if you ever wanted to do that. It's a little more advanced style of trading, and you have to be obviously right on your entry points. But if you don't exit in the middle of no man land, but you exit exactly at a level, then it may not be a bad idea. Okay, so good. We got a little training in. We got pips in, and it's only 9:15, guys. I'm gonna take a coffee break. All right, and I will be right back. And that reminds me too of what we've talked about before, which I just have a lot to do in the beginning, and I really want to get you guys trading first. But I will be working with those that want to work on creating a separate income stream that's related to already what we're doing right now, and I will help you with that. That's coming. So what it's going to be doing is being related to your journey of trading, learning to trade through the grids. And just as a preview, what you're going to want to start doing is maybe recording your screen while you're trading, and maybe speaking out loud, so you're thinking out loud for the benefit of the microphone. And you're basically creating a video trade log for yourself to go back and watch your trades and listen to yourself and what you were looking at, and you can learn. But what you're also doing is creating an amazing content for a trader's video log on YouTube. And as long as you do it consistently, YouTube will reward you with views and subscribers. And I will give you a special link that allows you to make, a decent percentage on everyone that clicks on that link and joins and trade with you. So, and you'll have my full support. I'll help you in the process of getting up your video blog, or whatever you call it, vlog. And so that's an idea for you guys to do. It would take a while to build up an income, maybe 6 months or more, but at the same time, you're creating something that has value all by itself, and that's the point. That video trading diary will really help you. So just keep it in mind. I'm going to do a more formal webinar, but later, in probably a few weeks. I've got a lot to do, and I don't think that's the main purpose of this trade. The main purpose is to be traders. But if you guys start, I can tell you right now, if you want to start videoing your trading sessions, screen capturing some video, and uploading videos to YouTube, that's the start. Get it going, get YouTube started, trading channel on YouTube, and we can get you some income. All right, some trading income. All right, and I'll create a whole thing on the website, on the members area too, for some resources, even some tools on how to blast some links out to get your video ranked and stuff as quick as possible. So, I mean, that's a whole separate thing, and I don't want it to. I know a lot of people work and people want to learn how to trade, so you have to be able to fit it in. You have to be comfortable doing it. But for those that are interested in something like that, I can help you. Okay, because it's also what I do. So I have knowledge in that arena. Okay, so it's coming, but first things first. Okay, what do we see here? Cable, it never came down to our 5-minute box, but you can see the white zone has expanded on the 5-minute, just showing the strength of the potential of a 5-minute trend. All of a sudden, we are getting a little action. Let's get off of that. We're getting this, all of a sudden, this dollar yen moving lower. It looks like the yen crosses, as Ken was kind of saying. The yens are starting to push back a little bit. Let's see what happens here. We might be able to do something on this euro yen for a few pips. It may not let me do it because I've reached my growth target, but I think it might let you trade the manual. Yeah. Let's see if I can get one in. Alright, I'm in. Alright, I'm long. Euro yen at 37 and change. Alright, so 37.6. It's a bounce trade. Or a 60 by 60. I don't know which one. It looks more like a 60 by 60, to be honest with you. Up a pip. I'd like to see it. A lot of these often will go to the hour level. Let's see what the hour looks like. See, what you'll do is when the hour L1 and L2 will trap the candles in. Right now it hasn't proven it, but you can see the tops of the candles. Like, it's been bouncing really between these two for the last 2-hour candles. You see this whole hour was trapped between there, and this candle, it's got a wick that goes from the top of there, which means both candles, it traveled top to bottom. So it's been trapped in there. We've got 5 pips now. Even another 5 would be a nice little addition. This here is +6 almost. +6. Alright, I'm out. +6. It's a nice little capper. So that's just a nice little, this could go higher, but I don't want to be greedy. That's I think I want to say, what, 25 pips on this session? I don't know. I have to look. So I'm cool with that. 23 pips. So this is the kind of trading you're gonna be doing. I don't know. Look, take a look, guys. These are the last, what, 15 trades we've taken. So we got, let me just look at that again. So we got in at 37.6, we got out at 43.6. So it's an exact 6 pips. I just rounded it 38 and 44, but it was an exact 6 pips on that. But otherwise, I will see everyone tomorrow. All right, this is Sam Shakespeare signing out, guys. Trade safe. Take care, traders.